Today we're going to take a look at the application of percents, in particular with money. Interest, money that is paid to the bank or to you when money is borrowed. Simple interest, one type of fee paid for the use of money. We have a formula: interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. T stands for time. Interest, principal rate of interest in years. So using our simple formula, interest is equal to principal times rate times time. We don't know what the interest is. That's what we're trying to find. So the principal is the amount of money borrowed. The rate is how long it's borrowed times how long. So we punch that into our handy calculator. 5 times 0.09 times the amount of money borrowed. You would owe $5,850 in interest. Likewise, using the same formula, interest is equal to principal times rate times time. We don't know the interest. We borrowed $9,000. We borrowed it at 7.5% for 3 years. So we punch that into our handy calculator. 3 times 0.075 times 9,000. Our interest would be $2,025. Remember, you would still owe the $9,000 in addition to that. Our next problem, we now know what the interest is. We know we borrowed $7,000 for 3 years, but we don't know the rate of interest. So we must use our formula: interest, principal times rate times time. $1,680, $7,000 times the rate times how long. So now we would multiply. The 7,000 times 3 is 21,000 times R. Now it's a simple division on both sides, and we would get 0.08, so that's 8%. Once again, we do not know what the rate of interest is, so we would have to do we would still do the same thing. We're going to use our formula. In example number 5 here, you're going to do this. Now you would have to find the principal, which means you'd multiply 0.05 times 0.5, which means you're going to have to multiply interest is equal to principal times rate times time. If you'll notice here, though, interest, first of all, is figured, simple interest is figured per year. So we have $37.50 is equal to, we don't know what the principal is, we know our rate is 0.05. The trick here is it's 6 months, which means it's for half a year, so we're going to make that 0.5. So we're still going to multiply 0.5 times 0.05, and that gives us 0.25p is equal to $37.50. Divide $37.50 by that comes out to 4. So that is comes out to 150. Likewise, on this next one, we would have 0.12 times 0.75, because 9 months is 3/4 of a year. 0.12 times 0.75 is 0.09. So divide 810 by 0.09 and you get $657. We have another problem here for you. Thurman borrowed $13,500 from his brother for 4 years at an annual simple rate interest rate of 6% to buy a car. How much interest will he pay if he pays the entire loan off at the end of the 4th year? What is the total amount he will repay? Well, first of all, we know he's going to have to pay the $13,500. I'm going to set that off to the side. Then where interest is equal to principal times rate times time. So we don't know what the interest is, so it's $13,500. That's what he borrowed. He borrowed it at 6% for 4 years. So then we multiply 4 times 0.0 $13,500 times 0.06 times 4 and it comes out to $3,240. This is the interest. That's one answer. And then the question is, how much will he pay altogether? Altogether, he will pay $16,740. Here's another problem just like it. To buy a car, Jessica borrowed $15,000 for 3 years at an annual simple interest rate of $9,000. How much interest will she pay? She pays off the entire loan at the end of the 3rd year. What is the total amount she will repay? Once again, I know she's going to have to pay the $15,000. Our formula: interest, principal times rate times time. Interest, $15,000 times 0.09 times 3. She will pay, interest is $4,050. This is the interest. There's the first answer. And then the second one is, how much will she pay altogether? She will pay $19,050. At this time, I would like you to try on page 372, problems number 10 through 16.